Bay.
Yeah, and I tell you, Assemble Fire, they did at least make it off into playoffs during stage 1, so they 100% want to repeat their successes. Uwinks are the team that stands in their way. The Japanese team coming from OQ, trying to work their magic with some of their playstyles. They struggled to put up a bit of a fight early on against XOXO, but hey, it is XOXO after all. And now face up against Assemble Fire. They'll have to bring the heat and get the dub under their belt.
Exactly what they need to do here, right? Assemble Fire, backs against the wall here, must-win scenario. Uwinks, not really must-win, but maybe should win, want to win. Maybe that's the better word. Assemble Fire is a must-win. Uwinks is like, yeah, we should win this one. We kind of need to.
Yeah,
need to win.
Kind of need to win.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, maybe. Uwinks, they still have a lot more matches, so they should be chill.
Looking at the hovers, Uwinks, I mean, the vibes have to be chilling, right? Look at the Jess across the board. 6 land sharks and the picks and bans are coming in hot. Right off the rip, Mantis securing for themselves. That's something that isn't necessarily allowed, right? And typically both teams choose to ban out the Mantis pretty early on, but Assemble Fire says, hey, I think perhaps that Fate of Both Worlds is a bit more annoying to deal with, so there we go.
Yep, Fate of Both Worlds still 12 seconds long here in patch 3.5. Keep in mind, this is the final day that these teams will be playing on that 3.5 patch before we go into next week, which will be that 4.0 patch. So, Luna Ult still lasting 12 seconds, whereas it's going to be 10 seconds when we go into Season 4.
Yeah, and so in the tournament client, Angela will not be played, at least for today's games, will only be released in the tournament clients starting next week. And I know perhaps I did a little incitement of the Twitch chat on the twitch.tv/Marvel Rivals channel. I know a lot of fighting words being thrown around in terms of how strong or weak Angela is here in the ranked play, but hey, we'll have to see what the pro teams make of it next week. Today, we still focus on 3.5, and right off the rip, again, Ultron being still a powerhouse in the skies from the back line. Those hit scan beams basically have infinite range, so if you can see that pixel overhead, you'll be able to click on it.
And don't be fooled by the Captain America pick. It's still a very, very strategist-heavy sort of picks and bans so far. You could even argue that Captain America really is a strategist with that freedom charge, keeping everyone alive, We talk about it, it's just a very, very beefy strategist. And it's one of those game-changing ultimates here in the Marvel Rivals world, right? Captain America with the freedom charge really just gives you another safety net, another resource to either push your advantage or find a way to come back.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Uwinks, 4 strategists banned against Assemble Fire. Just a full squad, leaving Assemble Fire with maybe lackluster backline supports. You've got perhaps Jeff, who honestly, yes, has a bit of a resurgence. Rocket's right there with them, but no Rage of Ultron, no Soul emerges, no Eternal Bond, no Loki either, and so it's gonna be, the Invisible Woman has to come out to support the rest of this team.
Yeah, and just a quick little clarification, there is some player names, most notably on the left and the right on the bottom of your screen for Uwinks. On the left is Yutsu, and I believe on the right is Yuri, so we will be referring to them as those names. So trying to clear things up a little bit. I know this entire stage has been an immaterium full of uncertainties, full of question marks everywhere. How do maps work? How do these bands picks work as well? And we hope to be that light guiding your way through what is Marvel Rivals esports as a whole.
Yeah, keeping the casters on our toes as well, as these two teams will be battling out here in Vernon Tashala. Domination is the name of the game, and right off the rip, it's just that min-maxing, making sure that we can get these these speed boosts from Jeff, these armor packs from Rocket/Penny, just to be able to make this first engagement here around the corner more effective for their players.
Yeah, looks like it might be a It looks like Uwinks are looking for a teleport play. Assemble Fire are playing a safer approach. Yep, here we go. Neil twirling his fingers around, getting it up to the high ground, but they do meet Assemble Fire head on as Akama will open things up, deny a teleport play coming in from Uwinks.
I mean, that's the danger, right, of playing so fragmented. You see Assemble Fire, you know, letting these players move around. Uwinks with the teleport, with the vision that Doctor Strange can lend in, they're able to kind of just slam into it. The point does go to Assemble Fire, but I believe it's going to be quite short-lived because a lot of these players have been sent back to the lobby. But I tell you, Mafia is making it painful for them to have to take this back, being annoying in that backline. Finally gets taken out by the Adam Warlock. Akame does fire one of themselves, and sooner or later, yep, Uwinks will convert that point for themselves.
Uwinks will secure that point for the time being. Assemble Fire did sneak in 13 points for themselves, but now it's all Uwinks here on the site. And now what does Assemble Fire look to do here? My mate Nate rocking the Black Panther here on really something you don't really see. A Black Panther pick on a domination map, but we'll see how it goes because Mafia really needs to help be that supporting player when it comes to diving in with my mate Nate as Beatty. We'll open things up with the fight. This is the retake beginning for Assemble Fire as Nate is also able to pick up Yutsu, but Yutsu has that cocoon, will revive as Uwinks do wipe the floor yet again.
Indeed, I mean, great kind of response from the side of Uwinks to be able to just capitalize on some of these individual fights that are erupting, not really burning too many ultimates either. Now Yuri around this corner will find 0-1, a huge stagger on the side of Assemble Fire, and this just means that their kind of response onto Uwinks will be delayed just a little longer.
Yep, Uwinks, we talked about this in the pregame, only having one loss, but this is only their second match. And so far, Uwinks, compared to their show against XO back in day number 2, looking a lot better here. But Assemble Fire, they need to find something, and Nate is that something, that X factor of Assemble Fire. The Eye of Agamotto finds 2, but Uwinks only have 2, make it 0 left on this site. Assemble Fire retake the point.
Now what's wild was that they actually had 4 ultimates at the start of the team fight, but they didn't even need it, right? The BP on their, what I would call home turf, that is, right? Perhaps it is the Wakandian buff that BP was just able to get a nice big flank on that backlines, those dash resets to be able to wipe out 2, and then just saving now 6 ults for Assemble Fire, taking the fight straight into Uwinks' face. Akame, there's something to say about it.
That was a great sleep coming from Axelio. Was able to lock down Nate and put him out of the fight. Behemoth follows suit as Bainey pops the invisible boundary, but maybe it's a little too late as Akama comes in with the end song Inferno, but is it really the Inferno putting on the show as 0-1's Inferno with the tornadoes coming in hot and burns out Uwinks from the site as Assemble Fire look to hold for just a bit longer. Hand the boss even being used to just keep everyone alive. But Yutsu with the hero comic revival keeps Uwinks back by freedom charge, keeping everyone alive as well. And Uwinks looks to keep this fight going, but Behemoth is able to match what Uwinks have in terms of support with the Fatal Worlds. Assemble Fire staying on fire, need to stay on fire, keep them alive on the site, but the feed looking red as Uwinks see red. It's all Daijobu from here.
And it's just these last few players they have to catch up on this. Mafia has something to say about it. Nope, gets taken out by the side of Yutsu. What a beautiful karmic revival. They burned every single ultimate from Assemble Fire, and now they have to come in with a bit of a desperation portal. 99%, they got it in the nick of time, the back and forth, just to be able to stall out this point. 0-1 with a huge bubble and shield to break open this side for themselves. Now, this is Meteor and from Neil hunting around for targets. We'll find my main Nate out of action.
Yeah, the ultimate economy right now in Uwinks' favor. The feed also in their favor as Assemble Fire off a desperation portal as Bainey is able to get the invisible boundary in time, but Bainey needs to stay alive in this fight if they want a chance to come back as Assemble Fire need to get the retake going, but the feed lights up red yet again as Uwinks looking to secure a round 1 victory. Slowly but surely, they will make it happen.
Oh, that Wakandian home turf buff only lasted for a moment, and honestly, it was just a fight back from the side of Uwinks. It was beautifully done. The fact that the likes of, Yutsui on that, I believe, yeah, on the Adam Warlock was able to come up with the Karmic Revival at the last possible second. Assemble Fire had burned 5 out of the 6 ultimates that they had at that point in time. And then with the Karmic Revival just bringing back the momentum, the players into the fray with Yuri leading the Freedom Charge onto the site. It was so much for Assemble Fire to have to deal with. Too much, actually.
If you're an old school gamer and you've been playing these style of hero shooters for a while, I'm sure you're getting some sort of PTSD from another title and from a certain hero back years ago. And these players will have to relive what they had to deal with, possibly in a past title. And now here we go. Assemble Fire and Uwinks going at it again. Uwinks with a round 1 victory here, but Assemble Fire did put up a fight in that first round as well. But for now, it's all Uwinks as the site does open up in 5 seconds time.
Yeah, great aggression coming from Mafia, right? Just to maybe from Yuri, just to be able to force out the Starlord away. Akami being pressured a little bit, manages to get a win. Forceful sustains out from the backline strategist. Now it's going to be the Magneto hunting for a target with the Meteor and doesn't quite land the mark, but zones enough to allow the rest of Uwinks onto this side. Oh, Assemble Fire finding just these drop the tray coming up from 0-1 on to New and 0-1 with the spin to win from my main Nate right up with them. Assemble Fire looking to bring the fire themselves.
Oh my gosh, another great Karmic Revival coming in from Yutsu, keeping the team alive again with the Karmic Revival synergized with the Freedom Charge, just keeps Uwinks back in the fight. Ryukan, a great shroud to dodge away from Kingdom's Meteor a few seconds ago, does keep Uwinks in this fight. A great Meteor dump onto Bainey as Uwinks looking to take control of the site. So far, no one charging up any sort of points onto the site as everyone just piling on in. Yutsu just providing the hurt, providing the damage, providing the resurrects as Uwinks will finally take control here in round number 2.
Finally, I mean, it was like 5-6 ultimates burned in the process just to get that first percentage point out. And we got a little taste of Blade as well. 0-1 picking up a twofer in the midst of that chaos. But once again, it's that Karmic Revival being so clutch as we go back straight into it. It's going to be Yuri around the corner being an absolute nuisance that they are as the Captain America. It's going to be Uwinks having to force their way back as Assemble Fire break the choke point a little bit open and force their way back onto side. Phoenix out of action. Akame falls to the wayside. A tick for tack trade onto my mate Nate as well.
Yeah, an even trade so far. Kingdom dangerously low, needs to keep himself alive, but 0-1 slashing his way to a site control, hopefully, as Mafia does solidify a lead, a man advantage for Assemble Fire, but looks like Yuri feels like the time is now. He's just bouncing around. Oh my god, look at him go. He's just bouncing around, just buying time for the rest of Uwinks to join. Neil popping onto the Doctor Strange will use the teleport, and it looks like they will be used right on the site. Assemble Fire, they need to find a way to get the control of the site, but Yuri might have just stalled enough.
Now 0-1 with the slice and dice, trying to get rid of the backline with a bit of anti-heals as well. Mafia doing their best to hold things around with the Freedom Charge. This Booyaka out of action. Now talking to Vanguards as well. This lead is lighting up blue. Assemble Fire want this for themselves, but hey, Uwinks are putting up a heck of a fight. Too much to handle though. Neil with a desperation teleport a few moments ago, but once again it's still gonna be this annoying Captain America finally giving their way. It takes so much for Assemble Fire to have to claim themselves back on this point. Holy!
All it takes is a few good bunny hops from Yuri. He was popping the Freedom Charge and just bouncing his way to what is Uwinks at 84%. That number should have been way lower, but Yuri with a solo freedom charge. He doesn't even need it to support the team. He just supports himself. And look what it's done for them. We'll see if that'll matter in the end.
Change, right? Yuri is now on the mid-tier Magneto, wanting to take that front line. That's not great right now because your backline is being harassed. Akame will be working out. Galactic Legends. Target folks. The bubble expires. There's going to be my main name just fighting frag after frag. The comic revival in the midst of it all. The spin to win doesn't quite find it. Eternal Bond. Right, Eternal Bond, Soul Bond. Just to build sustain. I don't think anybody from the side was caught by the eye about the more than sleep. Temporarily brings my name out of action, but straight into the frame we go. Uwinks finds a double for themselves.
How does Yutsu figure out the timing every single time? Every single Karmic Revival that Yutsu has provided has been maximum value. Especially with Exoleo being able to support everyone that is getting resurrected with the Soul Resurgence, and just the timing, the synergy with the support ultimates coming in from Uwinks might be the difference here as Assemble Fire trying to close the gap, but Uwinks have something to say about it, especially with Yutsu just staying in the back, staying alive, keeping the pressure for Uwinks as they look to try to secure the point, and they will do so successfully. And now Assemble Fire will need to teleport here.
Yeah, they'll have to fall back 0-1 on that Doctor Strange for a little last minute hurrah on this point to prevent Map 1 going their way. Here we go, onto the site we go. Mafia leading charge with the freedom itself to make space for the rest of the Assemble Fire to pour out.
Good soul bond from Yutsu to just provide that extra survivability from the onslaught. That is of Assemble Fire with the Desperation teleport by Nate. He has a good timing here. No response available for Uwinks, and Nate can just go ballistic. Goes legendary, and a great timing of the ultimate from my Nate. Nate will provide the Assemble Fire what seems like a round 2 victory for them. They may be able to clap back, but can they get it in time? As Axoleo forcing a portal, but it's too little too late. The shove even solidifies a round 2 win. Assemble Fire will clap back here.
Milliseconds off that point. I mean, it just takes, that quick action. I think everyone here needs to be able to quickly memorize how to hop onto a Strange as quickly as they can, because as you can tell, that portal opened up like literally milliseconds before 100% was reached, and now they won't have the option to run a teleport right off the rip for point number 3.
Before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, right? But I think both sides don't have the portal available just yet, so no funny rotational plays coming in from both sides, at least here at the start of this round number 3. Both teams so far being pretty even with each other. Assemble Fire able to find the ultimate timing here. Nate with a great Galactic Legend, especially with Uwinks. Didn't have the Karmic Revival available just yet. Neither did they have the Soul Resurgence or the Eternal Bond. And now we reach the breaking point of what it seems like a banger of a best of 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 0-1 on that Blade as well. We haven't really seen a mainstay Blade thus far. This is the most that we've seen them on screen, at least in the Asia region. Anti-healing, I'm still trying to see and figure out if there's enough value that's now be brought around the stairs. Assemble Fire, starting these off. The shift break from Behemoth does it all onto the backline, and now through this choke point they go. My main ace, ready for it. The Born again, the Karmic Revival around this corner. It brings back 4 players into the momentum we go. They're firing back on those cylinders. Akame onto Kingdom, forcing out this invisible boundary, but the sparks flying galore on the side of Assemble Fire.
Akama going right in melee range. This is one of the playstyles that these Phoenix players have adapted to. And Uwinks off the back of another Yutsu ultimate provides Uwinks the man advantage and the site control that they absolutely need here.
That's why, I mean, the fact that Yutsu is able to get away with these Karmic Revivals time and I think it's like 4, I've lost count, 4 times so far. So much value coming from a multi-revival. Now Freedom Charge Mafia wants to open things out. It's going to be countered with the Soul Resurgence from Neil.
Oh wait, but the anti-heal might be huge here. as 0-1 does get multiple members of Uwinks, but it looks like it hasn't really quite resulted into anything. Yuri with the meteor will find and shut down the fate of both worlds of Assemble Fire, and there is no more resources on the side of the blue team as every one of Uwinks look to clean up house and force Assemble Fire to regroup yet again.
I mean, Yuri did so much on the Captain America on point 2. He's now hopped onto the Magneto, just clicking heads with those metal shards. Uwinks past that 50% mark. Solid start, but hey, they've lost that lead on point number 2, and so they can't back down. They can't kind of let down their guard, especially because Mafia's already in the backline, but the Sparks make quick work of them. The regress from Uwinks, the focus fire is too good.
And now Mafia staggered away. 67% here for Uwinks as here comes the onslaught for Assemble Fire. The meteor not quite landing the mark, and that allows Uwinks to get the Eternal Bond down. No problem. Bainey also gonna have to use the Invisible Boundary to just counter the opposite strategy with Ultimate coming online and ready to go. Uwinks though looking good in this fight as Jutsu will finally get shut down, but does have the cocoon to revive, but Assemble Fire still faltering yet again as Uwinks looking to close a map 1 win. No response.
Mafia?
Is there a response for Assemble Fire? The teleport, is it in time? Come on, no! It's gonna be a shutout for Uwinks here. They take round 3, they take the best of 3 within map 1, and they will take what is map number 1 here in Burning T'Challa.
You can't see my face right now, Dan, but my jaw is on the floor. I think Mafia had hopped onto the Doctor Strange at the last possible second to force a desperation teleport, but somehow went back to Captain America. Maybe just realized like all hope was lost as the percentage points were just climbing too fast. Holy.
There was some signs of life coming in from Assemble Fire. They looked good in that second round, especially with the ultimate timings from Nate with that Galactic Legend, but unfortunately that was really only their saving grace. And we talk about this, just knowing when you have that sense of when the enemy might have their ultimates online is something that you need to know when you come to play at the highest level. And Uwinks off the back of so many Karmic revivals from Jutsu. I'm at a loss for words. I don't think I've ever seen this much value coming in from an Adam Warlock in a very long time.
Yeah, I'm actually stunned, right? To think about, hey, who can I name as MVP here? Sure, the game has highlighted Fuyakin, who has 40 eliminations to their name, 44k healing as that backline C&D. I mean, Cloak and Dagger is such a staple here in the backline strategist roster, but like you called it, you know, it's the side of Jutsu, yep, rocking the Kame, and also Yuri on the Captain America, just playing hopscotch. Not even Marvel Rivals, yeah. Just bouncing around, playing, you know, catch the Captain America, or buying time. And I believe, if my memory serves, they were at 43%. They left Captain America alone there, and they dragged it all the way to 84.
That too, you have the plays, the awareness coming in from Uwinks, realizing that, hey, this fight's over. And Yuri realized that, and it got to a point where he was just, you know, pops the freedom charge and just starts bouncing all over the place. And it's just, I don't know, it was just funny to watch, just watching the rest of the Assemble Fire trying to finish off that pesky little Captain America. Not even little, it's a very beefy Captain America. But with that bonus HP, with the extra movement speed, it's just what these micro plays that turn into macro plays in a sense was all it took to bring Uwinks to the finish line here in map number 1.
Yeah, I think this is the second instance this week that, at least for the first map domination, we've gone to a third point. And you know, it was a bit of a battle during that second point as well. The fact that Assemble Fire were able to fight back with some brilliantly played teleports, my mate Nate high in the sky, finding these opportunities on the backline with some great Galactic Legends as the Star-Lord, and Mafia doing, you know, trying to emulate that Captain America success as well. I'm thinking about 0-1 on that blade. What like, I'm trying to understand and visualize, was the blade pick here really successful? You know, we did see the thousand cut slash happen a few times here and there, and the anti-heal comes out, but I'm not sure about its efficacy.
Yeah, the efficacy definitely needs to be a little bit questioned because, yeah, you get the anti-heal down, but on the side of Uwinks, they had so many ways to get bonus HP, and that's something that Blade can't really counter. So just providing that extra bonus HP coming in from the Mantis ultimate, from the Captain America ultimate as well, kind of just nullifies the anti-heal as a whole. So a little bit of a lackluster ultimate if you think about it in hindsight. But who also need a team that also needs to think in hindsight is Assemble Fire as they look to find a way back in map number 2 here in this best of 3. Both teams still looking for that first win, but we'll be right back if Uwinks can secure it, or will Assemble Fire start to fire back. Don't go anywhere.
We're back here for map number 2 between Assemble Fire and Uwinks. And Uwinks taking the advantage here on domination. Brilliant T'Challa under their belt for that dub. And this leaves Assemble Fire with a huge problem. They need to push map 2 and get their dub into a map 3, or else they are almost virtually out of the playoffs.
Yeah, we talked about this right before map number 1. Assemble Fire already working with 2 series losses, and now their backs are quite literally pinned against the wall as Uwinks did take control of map number 1. And now Assemble Fire, like you said, if they come out with a loss here in this series, it might be virtually impossible for Assemble Fire to make it into playoffs.
And here we have map 2 chosen by Assemble Fire. It's going to be Yggdrasil's Path, which they actually have chosen as their map 2 against Onside Gaming on day 1, and unfortunately didn't quite go their way. So I'm thinking, hey, what else have they learned from that lessons from the first 2 matchups against ONG, against Crazy Raccoons, that they need to bring to the table here for Yggdrasil's Path Convoy?
Yeah, Yggdrasil was also a very popular map choice for many of these teams back in stage 1. Obviously, now it has changed quite a bit. I think Midtown definitely has overtaken Yggdrasil in terms of map popularity, but Yggdrasil Path still a very comfortable map for many of these teams, especially when you're playing on the defensive side. You have a lot of options. I know most teams really like to pilot the triple Vanguard, triple strategist compositions when it comes to on the defense for Convoy, but here on Yggdrasil, there is a little bit of wiggle room. There is a little bit of a adaptation you can do. Maybe take to disguise with the Human Torch, with the Ultron, a solid combo that we have been seeing so far in stage 2. But then again, we have yet to see what the choice of composition comes in, as Assemble Fire and Uwinks going at it again, locking horns yet again here in map number 2. And both teams, again, looking for that all-elusive first win.
Yeah, I think about the picks and bans that occurred back in, that first map, and Uwinks went with a quadruple strategist ban against Assemble Fire, which really kind of shoehorned Behemoth and Beanie into effectively just a Luna Snow plus invisible invisible woman with the invisible boundary and the fate of both worlds. Both, yes, powerful strategist ults that can support, but it also kind of locks the play into a certain field. And when you have flyers like my mate Nate, who wants to take to the skies and provide just more support, it doesn't necessarily support the kind of pseudo dive mentality that Mafia and my mate Nate want to press around the flanks.
Yeah, and speaking of flanks, it is also Convoy. Again, more surface area means more options to work with when you want that backline access. So we'll see if 0-1 does opt to pilot the Blade again, like we saw in map number 1. Obviously, we did talk about how on paper, Blade does look like a strong response, especially with so much healing, so much strategists being so impactful in the game, but keep in mind, the anti-heal only blocks additional healing. It doesn't block any additional bonus HP gained.
Yeah, a quick change from the picks and bans here. Uwinks going ahead to ban out Captain America pretty a bit early. No, actually for the first time as opposed to map number 1. They liked what Mafia was trying to emulate the likes of Yutsu, but at least cause enough of a nuisance for Uwinks to make it a bit more destructive. So hey, wanna just take that out.
Yeah, I know. If this torch comes in, which might get switched out, both of these picks. Oh, even the Phoenix also a very solid pick here for Uwinks. Phoenix, a very, very popular duelist for many of these teams, and it's just, in the sense, a better version of Hela, providing so much AoE, so much of that hit scan potential, and not to mention you can also play a lot of different playstyles when you pilot a Phoenix. You can play front and back what the hero was intended to be. You can also go right in your face, just go full melee, just start using your hands and just throw at them, or you can just go for that backline access potential too. You've got so many different ways you could play this hero, and it's kind of surprising coming into the Stage 2 tournament.
Yeah, but see, the chess move here from Assemble Fire is to ban out Magneto, right? I mean, we've seen the combo wombos between the Meteor M plus the Ensong Inferno, just firstly, the latter being able to strip away any additional health and shields, and then the Meteor M, the Meatball of Death, just comes in and swoops you right off your feet. It's a great counterplay from the side of Assemble Fire, and plus the fact that they locked in a Cloak and Dagger for themselves, that without a Meteor M in the sky just gives that Eternal Bond a bit more sustainability, a bit more life duration, that is, to support and provide the aggression onto Uwinks. So let's see if these changes from Assemble Fire are able to bring the heat.
Yep, Assemble Fire rocking a triple Vanguard, a 3-1-2 setup for Assemble Fire. My mate Nate being the only duelist here as Assemble Fire look to open things up on the defensive side. The Moon Knight being the choice here, as 0-1 is able to support things with a potential multi-man Strangling Prison into a hand-up Kanju Wombo combo, which we see is a very, very easy combo to pull off.
Yuri taking to the skies is the torch, wanting to apply some backline pressure, and is doing so, right? Just trying to cut things off from supporting this frontline Vanguard, when the walls will do just that, but manages to get away with it. Oh, not long enough though. Kingdom will drop with these flames, and now the backline is being pushed from Assemble Fire. They're losing ground, especially Mafia out of the way. No Vanguards from the side of Assemble Fire. 0-1, the final Vanguard. Just takes the word right out from my mouth. Uwinks are pressing like nobody's business and taking control of this first point.
Assemble Fire just look out of it right now. Mafia does switch over to the Doctor Strange, but he staggers from Uwinks. Might be too much for Assemble Fire to handle, as the portal does come in online. Everyone joining into the fray. A good ultimate coming in from Behemoth to try to keep the team alive, but Kingdom was nowhere near that fate of both worlds.
I mean, that was impossible. I didn't even see where Kingdom was, but regardless, will be sent back. Now, a trade of Sentence Ultimates in the back line, kind of just making work. Eternal Bond will fire off Freedom Charge on Uwinks, trying to break themselves back into this. It's the Supernova just waiting for the prime opportunity to crack themselves off, especially with my mate Nate out of action. It's just a slam dunk from the flame onto the side of Assemble Fire, breaking open this defense.
Oh my gosh, Uwinks. They figured out what they did. They figured out what went wrong in their last matchup against XOXO1, and here they are just going in, guns blazing. Assemble Fire, zero room to work with, zero chance of a winning fight, as Yutsu was able to just zone everyone away. The hero of map number 1 with those Karmic Revivals. But now piloting the torch is just quite literally torching everyone up Assemble Fire, as everyone coming in from Assemble Fire finally off the back of a multi-man Strangling Prison from 0-1, but the response from Uwinks is perfect.
One after another.
I honestly thought 0-1 had it, right? The great strangling prison catches a few, but actually just sustaining with the fate of both worlds, plus the backline dive from Akame. And the stagger onto my mate Nate is the cherry on top of that proverbial muffin. Tugging this cart along, looking so close to that second point, even wanted to stagger out this top side advantage. So they'll have to come in through the choke, and that's precisely what they do. Legends in the sky trying to apply some pressure, but this side seduction coming to hold back the recesses of Assemble Fire.
Every time Assemble Fire look for something, the stun is good still, somehow! Stun's up 4, but they only find Fuyukon. Assemble Fire, they get shoved away from what seemingly could have been a disastrous fight that could have gone into Assemble Fire's favor, but the stun was nullified by Fuyukon with the shove, and now Uwinks. Now, starting to falter a little bit, but Kingdom just being that little nuisance switches over to the Iron Fist, and it looks like Uwinks are going to finally get stunted by the push from Assemble Fire. Kingdom.
Yeah, don't overextend there, Kingdom. You don't want to get picked off a little too early. You've got that Living Chi online, which is going to be kind of crucial, given that, you know, perhaps you can combo-wombo with that Strangling Prison, but not much else you have. You got to be worried about your backline, because the Kame's lurking around somewhere with the Dance of the Butterflies has been noted in that front line, so all eyes are straight ahead. Mafia gets pushed back with a huge shove, but there we go. The Dance of the Butterflies, too much action, little more focus. There is, right at that tail end. Beatty gets caught off guard. The trade onto Yuri is perfect from Behemoth. Now Supernova to continue the sustainment. Backline now harassed. Behemoth gets traded out.
Yeah, so much damage, so much firepower on the side of Uwinks. And they go back to their winning ways as Assemble Fire are reeling back to spawn. It gets caught a little bit. But either way.
Can't find any success with a bit of a sneak play around the back. Maybe wanting to stall that cart, but that cart will hit that second point with the audio chorus coming through. They're not even resting on their laurels. Uwinks just pressing the issue. 4 members up front, so far forward. It's a maniacal aggression from the attackers here.
And they're looking like hounds. You're just hunting down, trying to maim what is left of Assemble Fire. But Assemble Fire, they have a lot of ultimates to work with. But Mafia gets lasered down by Neil. But is there any response, though? There's a good Strangling Prison, but it's immediately neutralized by the invisible boundary by Fuyukon. And now, what is the response from Uwinks? Dance is available as everyone on Uwinks using their ultimates, using their supportive ultimates to keep themselves alive. Nate trying to find respite with the health pack, but Akama just gets rid of it immediately.
And now it's just a focus down onto Kingdom. Assemble Fire being caught in individual fights. No one's really playing together. Both Vanguards at those final moments will be a little staggered out. And now the high ground in well control of Captain America. Look how forward they want. Just wanting to aura farm a little bit, get their ultimate percentage points just a little bit more boosted. Even triggering the cooldown of this health pack. Every single advantage counts.
Right now, this is their chance. This is their only timing as 0-1 trying to block the line of sight from this Emma Frost. And 0-1 is able to finish off Neil. A good timing for Assemble Fire to come back into the fight, get some sort of defense going as Mafia does get one knockout. Beatty will follow up with another as Assemble Fire finally looking to hold yet again. They have so much more work to do. 1.5 minutes left on the timer.
Yeah, their best case scenario here is just to prevent a third point from Uwinks, who are looking so solid at the moment. They're kind of regrouping, making sure they can just get a little long-range poke damage, trying to get their, Nova's online. They find a weakness. On to Behemoth we go.
My goodness, the Eye of Agamotto though. But oh my goodness! Yutsu, the hero from map 1, wants to become the main character here in map number 2 as Assemble Fire. Blink and you miss it. Just burn away from existence as the rest of Assemble Fire trying to find a way to get some sort of fire going, but it's immediately going to be extinguished from the likes of Uwinks with the Freedom Charge, and there's no response, no ultimates, no chance for Assemble Fire to come back. Uwinks looking to secure point 3 in commanding fashion.
In a commanding fashion, 26 seconds left on that counter. Got a little dicey, perhaps, around that second leg, but from the most part, Uwinks solidly in command of both the momentum as well as the rate and pace of their ultimate burns.
Oh my goodness, Uwinks with the Supernova. I didn't expect him to just go absolutely ballistic with that Supernova. Usually the Supernova is just used as a zoning tool, sometimes used as some extra firepower, some extra damage, but I have no idea what even happened. And Yutsu kind of just torched everyone out of the fight. And this guy has been absolutely on fire right now in this entire series.
You saw that Behemoth was, low health. He come in with a nice torch, and then you pop your Supernova because there's no Fate of Both Worlds for long-term sustain. With the Luna Snow out of action, it was a brilliant choice. We think about these micro plays coming in from individuals from Uwinks, choosing the right times and making sure, hey, who on the other team can counter what I'm about to do? Let's wait for them to be sent back to the spawn, then we take the dub, take the team fight for ourselves.
Guess I'll set my flames to bake instead of broil.
Whew. Assemble Fire. Can you match the fire of Uwinks right now? They really need to assemble together, find a weakness here on Uwinks. But so far it's looking very unlikely. But for now, Assemble Fire, it's their turn to go for the push as they do make their way forward. Uwinks respecting the space for the time being, but a great hook into the knockback from Nate will kick things off as he's able to find another knockout as 3 go down off the rip. Akama gets caught with his pants down, it seems, as Yuri kind of just sprints his way out of there.
Okay, great start from Assemble Fire, this is one of many things that has to go right for them. They have to force an overtime, they have to win in overtime, they have to force a map 3, and then they have to win map 3. That's one of like 5 steps. We keep going. 0-1 wanting to take and press the action against Uwinks pretty early on, not opting to work a Doctor Strange portal just yet, maybe saving it for later as they explode back onto this card.
This is a prime spot for Uwinks. But Assemble Fire are looking to push on through. They take control of the choke point. They take control of this first site. And it looks like they will be able to secure the point.
Wow. I mean, I like the adjustments in the gameplay, right? Assemble Fire running the double shields and very good counters with 0-1's group walls to isolate the fights and, get Yutsu, who has been so much of the carry, out of the sky so very fast. And there's not much coordination happening with the backline Psylocke, so I'm just going to switch over to the Phoenix 0-1. Okay, gets bubbled by the Magneto from Mafia just to be able to back out with the rest of their team.
Yeah, 0-1 there. You saw it for a split second, pinning away and isolating Neil from the rest of the team for just a little bit. It could have been an opening fight, but oh my god! The strangling prison from 0-1, it catches 4, and they all go down, all together, grouped up. You might even mistake it as a sleepover because they're all just laying down right next to each other.
I mean, holy, the ultimate usage is pristine from Assemble Fire. They are looking to really force. They're looking good right now. Right now, 0-1's gonna be taking the early fight, the isolation onto Neil. It's been arrived, but right now my main Nate coming in with the Kraken.
Oh no!
Back again and again. The 3K. Can we find more? The shots onto Akame as well will seal the deal.
Here we go, Nate. That's what we want to see. Assemble Fire. We had some doubts. We thought they were out. We thought they were done for in this series, in this tournament. But Assemble Fire, they still have something left in them. Close quarter combat is what Nate shines with that Kraken impact. Finds 3. And now Assemble Fire chugging on through. They have so much room to work with. 5 minutes on that timer.
Uwinks doubling down on the pseudo dive, right? Nina on the Hulk. And Akame on the Bucky to maybe match the prowess that my main Nate is bringing as we erupt in a bit of a scattered fight, wanting to just build the ultimate, or since the fate of both worlds online as a counter perhaps against Akame's with the ultimates themselves, but huge start from Doctor Strange onto Kingdom.
Oh my goodness, so many particles coming in. This dunk might be huge here. He's able to find Axelio. That's one strategist away from the fight, out of it. And he did save the Fate of both worlds. And it might be Uwinks looking to regroup. They need to stop themselves from getting staggered here. As another strangling prison from 0-1 on multiple members. But 2 go down. Will there be more on Uwinks? Uwinks, they need to keep themselves alive. Axelio doesn't even use the Fate of both worlds. Is that going to toss them here?
It's just a last-ditch effort from Uwinks. They're kind of staggered, especially because Beauty Banner comes out and will be sent back into the Gulag now. The rest of Uwinks trying to make their way in, forcing out the Pitiful World. They might be reprieve here, but already with the Wolverine out of action. 2 is a lot to have to bear.
Yeah, good stun onto 2, but Yuri not able to find the other strategist just yet. Beatty is dangerously low right now. Needs to find a way to keep himself sustained, keep himself alive. But the Assemble Fire looking good right now. They're able to just wipe out what is left of Uwinks. And we go to OT for the first time in Stage 2.
Oh my gosh, Yggdrasil's path. It has to be the OT, and it has to be Assemble Fire with their backs absolutely against the wall, right? I talked about the roadmap for themselves, what they need to do to prevent a certain elimination from playoffs. They have to force an overtime. That was step 1, and they did exactly that with 3+ minutes on the clock.
Commanding push coming in from Assemble Fire. There's a reason why they did pick this map after a loss in map number 1. And now Uwinks now seemingly on the back foot here as they have only a whole minute to make something happen here in this overtime push. Whereas Assemble Fire, they've got 4 times the amount of time.
In 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Yeah, that's a lot of flexibility, but hey, sometimes it might be a double-edged sword. You think, hey, 4 minutes, no, we're chilling. No, you have to press every single advantage. You cannot relax, especially because this is only step 2 of your 4-part plan, right? You have to win overtime, then you have to go to a map 3 and win there to get your first dub and keep your hopes of playoffs alive. 4 seconds separates us into the overtime map as Uwinks will explode into the open air here, running what looks like a double, a standard composition just to be able to take this open space. Assemble Fire don't want to push their advantage too much though.
Yeah, they need to go fast, right? Uwinks, they only have 40 seconds. It's going to get to a point very, very soon where they need to stay on the site. They cannot move. And that's going to allow Uwinks, or I'm sorry, Assemble Fire to just take advantage of the limited space that Uwinks are only able to be confined in. They cannot move away from that point once that timer reaches that overtime meter. So Uwinks, they need to get as much ground as possible, and finding that pick up to 0-1 is that step 1.
It starts there, and already Assemble Fire are firing back. Gets pushed away.
Wait, but the stun is still good though.
In order, it's a slash and a dash. It's a Kame finding pick after pick. They're pressing their issue onto Beanie, onto Behemoth, and suddenly overtime trigger. But they're chugging along this card. It doesn't look like Assemble Fire will pull a desperation teleport. They rather give it to them and reassemble for leg 2.
They have a chance, but it looks like they're just gonna concede at the point for now. Bainey so close to saving the team from a multi-man stun, but Yuri was just barely able to get the stun down and is able to secure the point as they are going to have to keep on moving. They cannot stop, they cannot move from the point, and this is a great look for Uwinks. So many ultimates, so much value as they just get torched out yet again. It's a full team wipe here.
Yeah, the first leg as well was a near team wide. Is just everyone trying to group together and make plays, but that's where the Sparks and the Phoenix and Song Inferno can really shine. You take advantage of the grouping that Assemble Fire are bringing. They'll have to take the high ground, which is precisely what they do to make their way into it. Kingdom's already opting for the Mega Hurricane.
This time Assemble Fire, they have resources here to defend. And here comes the Meteor M. Doesn't quite land the mark, but Akama standing up on the high ground trying to scout what targets he can look for as the last stand from Yutsu, is able to find one, and then every one of Uwinks follows suit. A great push, but that overtime meter, they cannot move, they cannot stray away from the site. And so far, Assemble Fire, they weren't able to take control, take advantage of the limited space that Uwinks are only able to provide. They only need one person on the site, and every one of Uwinks looking to push the advantage.
They are indeed. I mean, Wolverine's right up there trying to slash and dash, get this group as low as possible, and it's Wolvie taking out 0-1 very early on. That's a crack in the defenses for Assemble Fire, who opt to have to fall back a little bit. Giving all this map space is not wise, right? You already see Yutsu already perched up, wanting to see who will fall into the leer.
Great shot.
Doesn't quite find it, but it's gonna be Doctor Strange with a follow-up onto Mindmate Nate.
Great pull coming in by Fuyutan. Able to find the pick onto Nate. And now this is looking scary for Assemble Fire. You need to stop the push if you don't want to put yourself at a really big disadvantage, as Yutsu slashing his way forward, doesn't quite land the kidnap. He's silent seduction, also going to zone every one of Assemble Fire back. 3 go down, and it looks all but likely of a 6-point for Uwinks. They just need to go for a little bit more. They find Kingdom, the stagger is there, but Nate will find one, but is it enough? As he's able to jump hurdle over Yutsu, and Nate just going for a desperation pick, isn't able to find it. No one home on Assemble Fire, and Uwinks push us the distance. They find all 6. And what does Assemble Fire do here?
That I cannot believe what I'm watching. If I were sitting down, I would be on the edge of my seat, but I'm standing, so edge of my toes, I suppose. I mean, the way Uwinks played even more phenomenally on their overtime attack half, right? I mean, they did pretty good during the regulation, but hey, they just pressed the issue, getting team wipe after team wipe, and then once 0-1 on that third lane was picked out by Wolverine, which was, I think, Yutsu. It was just crumbled for Assemble Fire.
Saving grace here for Assemble Fires, they have 4 minutes to work with. So
true.
What Uwinks did, Assemble Fire need to match. And
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
It's just a big question mark. How, if Assemble Fire do make it all the distance, we go to 6-6.
We practically met. I'm sorry.
What would happen in that scenario?
That's all that matters.
You know what? Great question. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Dad. I mean, are you not entertained, chat? Does Asia not entertain the masses right now? We're bringing on a show. Assemble Fire has to do it all. Again, force that process to keep their hopes alive here in the playoffs. And it starts to be the attack side. Some early on damage from Akame just to be able to build that 12%, 16% in Ensong Inferno ult as a replica of the first half. They're giving around this first corner for themselves.
I'm sure the producers can confirm what would happen if Assemble Fire bring us to a 6-6 scoreline. But that's exactly what Assemble Fire need to do. If they don't do it, they are out. Essentially, it's going to be mathematically impossible for them to make playoffs here in Stage 2. So it's either create a draw on this map, or it's bust. And so far, the opening pick is great here as, oh my gosh, welcome to Wolverine Airlines. It's Yutsu, the captain, speaking, as he's able to wipe out Mafia.
That was phenomenal. Now Assemble Fire will kick things off with an eternal bond of their own. They want to hold this corner for themselves. A flashing dice from the Wolverines. A little bit liquidated. Struggling with it, but we'll find my main Nate right at that tail end.
Assemble Fire are slowly but surely falling away. as the timer bleeds more yet again. Assemble Fire needs to get it together, needs to find a way back in. 0-1 does have the silent seduction, but when does he pull the trigger? Everyone of Assemble Fire starts to respawn now. Great stun onto the enemy Vanguard of Yuri, and he's out of the fight.
Might be the triggering point, right? With Clark, we have the Omega Hurricane in the back line. You save the Sonic Seduction for another fight. Now, we see, I think Yuri on the Doctor Strange, the Desperation Portal. They want to bleed the timer more. They have to. It's 2+ minutes for Assemble Fire. They have all the lucky in the world to keep going. It's going to be a last minute Desperation. 3 minutes on the clock. And now comes out with the Fate of Both Worlds.
The Uwinks want to end this right here, right now, as the Silent Seduction and Mafia with the dunk finds the enemy. Luna Snow shuts down the Fate of Both Worlds yet again, and now Mafia needs to keep on going forwards. The stun from the Eye of Agamotto not quite landing the mark, but is it even necessary as Uwinks will fall one by one, and Assemble Fire will at least take the 4th point.
Okay, that Desperation Portal bled, what, 45 seconds from the clock, still a minute 30 before overtime is triggered. And honestly, at this point in time, it doesn't matter too much, right? You want to have 2, possibly 3 players from Assemble Fire on the card just to be able to push it as fast as possible. They need to gain the space. They don't want to let down on their lowers, and that's precisely where they are position-wise. They're pushing up with both Vanguards, taking the front side and wanting to make an aggressive play against Uwinks.
Check on the ultimates available on both sides. The dance, if it's used now, would be absolutely perfect, and Yutsu agrees with my suspicions, but Uwinks find 3, and only 2 go in favor of Uwinks. Or, 2 in favor of Assemble Fire, as Assemble Fire falling away, but they do have 45 seconds to work with. They do have a portal to work with as well, but will Assemble Fire use that now, or will they just walk over? It looks like the option will be the latter, and they will just take their march back to the point, but Akama is the one in their way. Omega Hurricane, though, going to be used. There is no response available for this Cyclone that is of Kingdom, but he will get picked away, will get traded out, but is it too little too late? Only 3 members alive on Uwinks to try to defend the push that is coming in from Assemble Fire, as the timer will hit 0. Overtime will start, and now it's getting dire for Assemble Fire. They need to find the 2 points. They need to keep themselves alive in this tournament. Can they do it?
Oh, it's so much pressure right now for them to have to go the absolute distance. It's the setup, the AC-130 from My Main A trying to barrel down the shields of Doctor Strange, but it's the madness coming out, finding Kingdom in the midst of it all. Now it's just gonna be so many ultimates coming online. The Punisher with the final judgment negated by so much. Sends this out and immediately targeted by the Meteor, and Doctor Strange finding so much value in the midst of it all. And 2 for 2 right at that tail end. Uwinks firing on all cylinders. No, the overtime is bleeding out. Assemble Fire and no response. There is no teleport from Kingdom. And it's 4-6. The scoreline goes to Uwinks.
What a series we have witnessed here. It was a 2-0 in favor of Uwinks, but oh my god, how close could it have gone? We go the distance. We went all the way, all the rounds in map number 2. But it's in the end, it's all Uwinks as they look to secure a 2-0. And this might be the end of the run for Assemble Fire here in this tournament.
Indeed. And if you're Uwinks, you gotta be so happy with that. A hard-earned dub. The first one that they've gotten here in the group stages. After a bit of a struggle, going the distance, all 3 points on domination and forcing an overtime with an aggressive play from Assemble Fire on Convoy, Yggdrasil's path. It is just the train from Uwinks, non-stop, going the distance, and able to put a falter to the aggression from Assemble Fire.
Assemble Fire, I really thought Assemble Fire would have a fighting chance in this map, especially with how dominant their push was. They had 4 minutes to work with, but Uwinks were able to go even farther with a quarter of what was available for themselves, and that is just absolutely insane coming in from Uwinks with only 1 minute on the clock, and then most of that push being on overtime. They went all the way. They went to 6, and Assemble Fire just weren't able to match what Uwinks did.
Yeah, that scoreline, the scoreboard says it all. These are numbers that we've not seen thus far because this is the first overtime we triggered. 67 to Yutsu in terms of eliminations, 25 final hits, but that's not even matched by Akame. 35 final hits, not as many limbs, which just means Akame was able to take all these frags for themselves and secure eliminations, put them to bed quickly.
Absolute insanity, though, overall from this entire map. Looking at the highlights, there were just so many moments from both sides. They had their moments. Yutsu with a multi-man supernova somehow out of nowhere just wiping out 4, and then you had Nate on the flip side just getting into a close quarter situation and just gets a multi-man Kraken impact. So many highlight plays, so many big moments from both of these teams, but in the end it was Uwinks coming out on top from all the plays, from all the action. And this is quite literally peak Marvel Rivals, and Marvel Rivals at its absolute finest.
It really is. And I think it really started with the picks and bans, like Uwinks kind of read the strat book a little bit, went with, 4 strategist bans right off the rip. Now on that second map, choosing to also strip Mafia away of that Captain America that was basically probably the thorniest thorn on their side on domination, and with that removed out of the way, without the side flanks coming out from the side of Assemble Fire, it just meant Uwinks could focus their fire straight ahead, not get too worried about any flanks. And you could tell, Assemble Fire didn't really have an answer without their Captain America. They had to run double shields, and that could have been their demise.
Yeah, that's really the issue, right? Without the Captain America, you have one less safety net to work with, and in a way, it did cost them a little bit. It did start to cause a little bit of a rift in terms of what they wanted to do. They could have gone one option, could have gone a different option, but in the end, with that Captain America off the table, it's just very, very difficult to work with, especially since you don't have a pseudo third strategist ultimate to rely on.
Yeah, and who can forget also, Yutsu just obviously wrecking so much on that convoy map, but just cast your memory a little bit back onto the domination match, and rocking the Adam Warlock time and tide and having so much value with those karmic revivals, just being able to hide in the right corners at the right times, draining away the ultimate usage from Assemble Fire. Sure, take these eliminations, no problemo. I'm gonna bring that back. I'm gonna bring it with the Freedom Charge. I'm gonna bring it with the Fate of Both Worlds. That's how they keep the momentum alive in that first map. And then obviously clicking heads in the second was the name of the game here.
And we are getting word that we will be interviewing a player from the winning team here of Assemble Fire versus Uwinks. It is going to be a player from Uwinks. We will be joining them in a few moments as we are going to get a little bit of an insight. It will be none other than Neil of Uwinks. How are you today?
This is our first win, so I'm very happy. I'm really happy. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We kind of talked about that being the first win for Uwinks. So important here in Group B. In Group A, getting your
group.
leg up against Assemble Fire.
Yeah. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's exactly how you feel. So, how have you been getting ready after your last match against, what was it, EXO? Did you learn anything from your first game that helped you in today's game?
EXO is really good team, so I watched replay and learned too many focus for. They are very good team, so I want to win this game. So
precisely the point. you go against a great team like XOXO, and you learn a little
Yeah.
bit and you come up victorious against Assemble Fire. Terrific job, Neil. Last question before I let you go back to celebrate with the rest of your team. You know, next week, Uwinks will play
Yeah.
against Incipients. Are you ready?
Yeah, I know Inexperience has good player like Genofly and Doxlan, and they have great team up with Magic. But we beat them in MRC and Open Qualifier with Leo and Ryukan. So I believe we can win again. So they are a strong team enough, but I don't think we lose. So we will ready for next fight.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are more than ready to go at it. Thank you, Neil, for joining us. Go celebrate with the team, and congratulations on your win today.
Yeah, thank you for watching. ありがとうございます。Japan Pen.
Check it out. Thank you so much, Neil. Oh my gosh, it's always a treat